Okay, welcome to Rachel's instructional video for Christina or anyone who's interested on how I make slightly more accurate maps. I'm not saying they're totally accurate, I'm just saying you can plan out the geographical meridians on your maps really easy. And best way for me to demonstrate it is to first show you. It's going to be out of focus, sorry, but you can still kind of see my point. You can see our map here, and everyone knows about the equator, and what you can do is you can actually calculate the equator and then fairly easily on Earth, because of our environment, calculate where all of the deserts are going to fall, the deserts and the steppes and plains, because the hot air from the equator rises and then falls in these areas and create the winds that help form the deserts. And basically, I came upon this technique while looking at this map, and I realized that the crease lines in a map actually correspond pretty well with the geographical meridians on a map. So what you can do is you will take yourself a piece of paper, and let me remove a rat from my shoulder. And if you were smart, which I am not, you would have the paper ready while I'm doing this. Here's some rats. They desperately want over here because they're convinced I have a treat. Watch rats for a moment while I rip this. I don't want any of those danglies on my paper. Okay, so we have our piece of paper. In my opinion, when it comes to maps, the larger the better. This is 11 by 14 inches. So the first thing you're going to do with your piece of paper is you're going to lay it down on a flat surface. You're going to fold it in half. And you want to be very careful when you fold. You can't see it very well because my camera won't focus, but you want to make sure that the edges line up. You always want to line up the edges, otherwise your paper is going to be crooked and you won't be able to use it for a near-Earth planet because the geographical meridians will be crooked and ours aren't. Okay. So what happens is when you fold it in half, you have immediately your equator. Isn't that neat? What you can do then is each half fold in half again. So essentially you're making quarters. And I'm not doing this very well, but again, you want to make sure that it stays pretty straight, or else this won't be as accurate as, well, if you're me, as you might want it. You might not worry about accuracy. So I'm folding the top half in half again to make two top quarters. And there you go. Each quarter corresponds to basically a section of the environment that you would see. This here would represent, obviously, the equator, and then going back to our lovely map here, here's the equator, and then we'd be able to find the desert ranges to the north and south. So here's the equator, here would be the desert ranges, and then up here, if you want to get real technical, if you're really close to Earth, if you're a very near Earth environment, you could fold the top and bottom quarters in half again. So you would have two middle quarters, two top eighths, or a top eighth and a bottom eighth, and the top eighth and the bottom eighth would correspond to where you would get more forestation. And then up here, obviously, would be the tundra, where nothing can really grow. And there's how I fold my paper. And then really all you have to do then is just fill in the spaces that you want. Get creative.